The Esports World Cup has been crowned as one of the best things to happen to the esports industry. A massive event combining all of the popular esports games into one central, annual event with a combined gargantuan prize pool. The biggest teams and players fly from every corner of the planet to compete in front of the 3 million visitors who attended in 2025 alone. So as someone who heavily promotes the growth of the industry, especially in sectors like education, why do I fucking despise this event? Saudi Arabia's new venture into major sports events is the EWC. Being the direct successor to the Gamers 8 showmatch event, its debut in 2024 was an explosion onto the scene, pulling in over 2 million attendees and featuring over 22 different games. The common household names like CS2, League of Legends, and Overwatch all have their separate events, and boasting a massive $62.5 million prize pool, almost every major esports team was enticed to participate. The EWC is managed by the Esports World Cup Foundation, which is essentially an organizer that the Saudi government pumps a fuck ton of money into through the Public Investment Fund. This is done because the Esports World Cup exists for the country's Vision 2040 project, essentially a mass construction / development project to aggressively expand their non-oil profits and modernization efforts. Saudi Arabia is expanding into biotechnology, new smart cities, and global trade and logistics. You catch all that? Good. Keep up. But that's enough talking about the country in general. Let's look back at the event. Well, I mean, the location is beautiful, stunning even. It's so well built, well planned, I call it damn well one of the best venues for any esports event ever. But it starts to become a problem when you look into Saudi Arabia's history and even present time controversies with venue construction. Saudi Arabia relies on migrant labor to help build these massive venues. Most of these workers are brought in from places like Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. These people are immediately put to work, facing harsh desert climates with aggressive deadlines to meet, especially on these so-called giga projects that the country has been investing billions of US dollars into. Alongside this, human rights organizations have reported over 21,000 migrant deaths on construction sites since 2016. So this doesn't even include people from Saudi Arabia who do construction as a job. Take a guess at how many construction site fatalities were reported in the UK in the same time frame. You're okay, I'll give you a bit. Around 415. Even the US, with 10 times the population of Saudi Arabia, has only faced 9,000. To push my previous point further, once these migrant workers are brought in, they are essentially trapped. Managers confiscate their passports and identifying documents, restrict their job mobility, and even withhold their wages. But it goes beyond this. A lot of those construction deaths could be called accidents and unfortunate. So how about we look into the government promoting the murder of village residents, part of an ancient tribe, to clear desert land for the Neom mega project. Rabia Al-Anezi commented to the BBC that he was ordered to evict villagers to make way for the construction. An innocent tribe member protested the eviction. They were shot. I'm gonna go off script here a little bit. Imagine getting shot by a militant, someone who enlisted in your country's army to protect you, because you didn't want to leave your only home with the only people you know, sent out with no direction, no alternative, no help. It's distressing to know that the government is willing to go these lengths to force their neo-expansionism with these fantasy cities, golden venues. It's dangerous. Let's move on, without forgetting this. We've also received multiple reports of contractors hired for various jobs by the Esports World Cup not being paid for their work. Alongside this, some teams went unreasonable times without seeing a penny of their winnings. These reports echo a wider labor pattern in the event industry in Saudi Arabia, where contractors face precarious employment, delayed wages, and a lack of protection. In esports, where many staff are freelancers, the absence of payment mechanisms causes exploitation risks. This not only undermines the credibility of the Esports World Cup, but also raises broader questions about the sustainability of the event. Can a state-subsidized event deliver fair economic benefits, or will it replicate the exploitative labor practices already common in Saudi Arabian construction and service industries? Recently, we've seen new esports tournaments focusing on women and minority genders gain traction. A notable event of this is VCT Game Changers. There's been a huge push to make esports more inclusive to non-males, but this proves another issue with the EWC. Being hosted and managed by Saudi Arabia, a country that still has male guardianship laws limiting women's autonomy. At the event, international female players and staff have to follow strict dress codes and gender segregation in public. At the front, they use the EWC to project modernity in their country, whereas behind these golden curtains, they still promote repressive structures. This is a duality at the heart of sports washing. Let's focus on the prize pool. The scale of Saudi Arabian funding raises questions about impacts on esports in the long term. The most recent 2025 event boasted a total prize pool of 70 million United States dollars. By doing this, the Esports World Cup risks creating economic dependency. Smaller tournament organizers just don't have the ability to compete with state-backed prize money. Teams are more inclined to prioritize the Esports World Cup, distorting the competitive calendar and funneling talent towards a centralized power. This has the ability to undermine grassroots tournaments, regional leagues, and independent events which are rooted in the foundations of esports culture. This would reshape the values of esports around spectacle and state narrative rather than community and competition, as they always have been. These issues have sparked resistance across the esports community, including multiple large faces and organizations. Pushback on this scale reveals the ethical dilemmas facing esports organizations. They can either take the money and visibility or reject participation on principle. For many, this mirrored debates in traditional sports like football and Formula 1, where Saudi investment has also triggered controversy. Stemming on from this, Saudi Arabia's free speech record stands as one of the most restrictive environments for both offline and online expression in the world. In 2023, fitness instructor Manahel Al-Altaibi was sentenced to over a decade in prison for online posts advocating for women's rights. This is a widespread issue, with multiple people being arrested in 2024 for tweets, blogs, and YouTube content that the Saudi government deemed critical of their leadership. This repression raises a major question. Can esports, a culture built on online freedom and openness, thrive in an environment where digital expression is policed and punishable, even by death? Now, it's no lie that the Esports World Cup represents a watershed moment for global competitive gaming, but is also one fraught with ethical contradictions. For a culture rooted in digital freedom and inclusivity, the price of Saudi Arabian funding will likely be the erosion of the industry's very identity. The spectacle, the vast prize pools, the glossy broadcasts are all masking a darker reality, one where cultural compromise and work exploitation replace the grassroots values that made esports meaningful in the first place, all being micromanaged by authoritarian control. Hey, Riley here. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for watching this video all the way through. Sorry it's a little later than I hoped it would be, but editing was a bitch for this video. It really sucked. I'd also like to say that this project was inspired by Sideshow's video covering Saudi Arabia's infection of esports. I highly recommend watching that, as it focuses more on Saudi Arabia's effect on the industry in general, instead of just the Esports World Cup. This was yet another video that was originally planned for college, and I did use it for my Unit 10, which was to develop a documentary circling around esports. But once I watched through the whole thing, I realized that I hadn't accomplished everything I wanted to do. So I decided that now that college is over and I have some free time on my hands, I would redo the video with better editing and also probably better voiceover. I don't know, my voice is kind of annoying, you guys can make that up. Though I will say that more videos are in the works, and I recommend you all do stay tuned if you do like this type of content. No, it's alright, I'll kill myself. So again, stay tuned for that. But again, thank you all so much for watching, I really hope you enjoyed, and hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!